Hello there, my name is Ben, and welcome back to Play the Game Central. So this is part 2 of a discussion about war and peace. And part 1 was a discussion really about the physical entity that is war. So wars that are committed around the world, or against certain organizations and militant groups and things like that. And we talked about peace as maybe being a bastion of hope for these situations, and to think of that as maybe where our humanity is heading, because without peace, where will we be in a millennia, or will we be in a millennia? I wanted to talk today about the internal workings of you and me in terms of peace and feeling peace and being at peace and at one with yourself without being too spiritual. And then this new idea that I have for if we have peace and feel peace and tranquility inside ourselves, there is definitely a war inside ourselves, whether it's a mental war with ourselves, whether the kind of moral side of things that we do or the way that we talk and things like that is appropriate, and whether we hate ourselves for it, or the kind of micro scale war between, friends, family, and all of these kind of things that do occur. There is that inbuilt ideal and philosophy of war inside us. I truly believe that, because if there's peace, there is a yang, and I just think that that's what's up. Now, I want to talk about war, the war inside us and me. I find it happens most online, if I'm honest. I find that I have anxiety about the kind of online fraternity, because to me, online isn't real life, because actually it isn't real life. It's a kind of digital excuse for real life. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. I know a lot of people find their loved ones and, do amazing work online. I'm not justifying what goes online, but I'm just saying that it's very, very difficult to actively change the way that we are and the way that the world is online. That's for loads of reasons. A lot of people are online. It's completely oversaturated. And, petitions go up. They get signed by 200,000 people online and nothing happens because it's online. But if you go down to Downing Street and protest right outside, get people to hand out flyers and petition outside Downing Street, people report on it. They do. I've seen it today. I've literally seen it today. A really small group of people petitioning outside where our Prime Minister lives in the UK, and it was on the news today. There was like 10 people who got like 200 and something petitions, and it was on the news, and he was discussing it today. Online, it's ignored. Now, and I think that will change, by the way. I think that it has to change, because online should be taken more seriously, because if you're bothered enough to sign a petition online, then they should be bothered enough to read what the petition was for. I'm talking specifically about petition there, but I think that online will become more real the more that it evolves. But as the internet stands, for me, it's not real life. I have real life. I have friends in real life. I have family and loved ones and all those things that make up my life and make me peaceful. The online does not make me peaceful. I can't think of the last thing that I saw or had an interaction with online that makes me feel peaceful. It's very difficult to feel that when it's so morally reprehensible and so conditioned to feel sarcastic and ironic, and it's a very strange place to exist. And I'm talking to you because you're online as well, like I am right now. We're online together. I'm talking to you. You're understanding this. And I'd like to know your opinions about online. Do you really feel like it's your real life? Because there are some people who tell me that it feels like their real life. And I'm imagining that those people don't really have a real life, or are trying to escape it, which is fair enough. I've done many things in my life to try and escape real life. But what do you feel about the internet and those kind of things? Now, that's slightly off topic. But that war within ourselves, and I used to feel it a lot. I had a really bad period in my life which I'm not going to talk too personally about this because I don't like doing that, but I had a really, really low period in my life about 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And I was not the same person at all. I was filled to the brink with this kind of animosity and this resentment of some sort. And I can't even clarify what that was right now because I don't know. It was just so... it was useless, if I'm honest. But at the time, you get entrenched in... I wasn't seeing red and being angry and all that stuff. It was just a completely different mind frame that things were... that the elements around me were negative. And I'm now an eternal optimist. And it's taken the last few years of me completely changing my outlook on life and spirituality and religion, all those things, completely changing, to become absolutely, or to feel a clarity. Peace is a difficult one to discuss because peace, that internal peace, is so intrinsically linked to a specific religion and to the idea of Zen, meditation, all of these things that can enhance your well-being. I'm not talking about meditate. I don't meditate. I probably have felt Zen because I think you can feel Zen without, understanding what Zen is or even contemplating the fact that you're feeling Zen. You can feel totally relaxed and totally like everything is fine. And that's kind of what it's about. Now, there is two ways that I've experienced of becoming like that. And the first way is worse than the second way. The second way is a kind of last resort. The first way is dealing with issues. I'm very good at dealing with issues. I have no qualms about talking to anyone about anything. If I feel that there's an injustice or that someone is treating me incorrectly, or if I'm treating them incorrectly, or if they're treating someone else incorrectly, or anything really, then I have no hold back. I will just say exactly what I think. And that's it. But that's the correct way, I think, to deal with things. That's in real life and that's online, but it doesn't matter where that is. These are both things that happen everywhere. It's the better way to deal with issues because some people are just difficult. That's what I've come to realize in life, is that some people are just like to be difficult. Some people get a rise out of it. Some people get kind of entrenched in the idea as well. And so trying to deal with them is sometimes difficult, and sometimes it's impossible because they don't want to deal with it. They want to get that rise and they want to feel like they come out on top. So what happens is the second thing, and the thing that shouldn't exist and is far easier to do online than it is in real life, which is just to stop all interactions with that negative entity. It's so easy to do online. It's far more difficult to do in real life because, if you have maybe a girlfriend or whatever who you're not getting on with, it's not the same in real life because do you really want to press that physical block button, or should you try and resolve this? And even if you try and resolve it, it turns into a massive argument and, you never talk again. There was that idea of resolution and the fact that you were man enough or strong enough to want to resolve that issue. I said man enough. I think 6% of our subscribers are girls. So if you're woman enough to kind of deal with it, I apologise. That was incredibly sexist and I should be slapped on the eye. But blocking someone in real life isn't feasible. That's not a real way of dealing with people in real life. It doesn't work. I block people online because either they're being arseholes or we're both being arseholes, and I think the best thing to do is, even if it's temporary, is just to shut the fuck up, because this is not getting anywhere. If one of us has this idea of peace and the other person has the idea of war, are you going to solve that? Is that really going to be solved until an armistice is set in place or a ceasefire is set in place. So press that little block button until it's solved, and then deal with it in a peaceful and in an educated way later on, because you find that over time is a massive healer, and that's an old saying, but it's more than that. It kind of it also adds clarity and time to contemplate and understand the things that are going on. And that's really important as well. That's so important, because that time can be used and will be used, hopefully, to resolve friendships, loving relationships, family issues, all those things that do happen in real life. You know, everyone does it. Everyone, when they're a certain age, their parents go mental at them. I've been out too late smoking crack and fucking hookers. So your parents send you to be grounded because I'm 13. I shouldn't be doing that. So you sit up in your bedroom and you get all fucking moody. And I used to do this, not because I was fucking hookers and doing cocaine, but, you know, you sit in your bedroom, you become entrenched in, oh, I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. You fall asleep because of the hate. You wake up an hour later and you think, Christ, I'm such a dick. And then you go down and apologise. And, or you don't, and you harbour that resentment until you're old enough, and then you just kill them. No, I'm joking. Please don't do that. Okay, seriously, don't do that. That's just not cool, really. Unless they're really arseholes, in which case don't kill them, just like lock them out of the house or something. But no, that's, you know, time really does heal things. And peace comes over time. I didn't find peace immediately. When I lost my religion, when I lost spirituality, and I think I've gained some spirituality back and some of that kind of ethereal emphasis in my life, it was really difficult, and peace was just the last thing that I could imagine because of this kind of impending idea, this kind of anxiety that comes across you when you lose something that's so fundamentally important to your life, and you realise it was a lie for so long. It's terrible. You don't feel very peaceful. You feel angry with all of these people shoving it down your face for so many years, just trying to control you. And I didn't feel very peaceful at the time. Didn't do anything, but I didn't attack anyone or anything, but I just didn't feel like I had that peace. There is a peace in religion. There is a peace in knowing that there's someone above you. Not for me, because obviously, but I know that some people feel peace in the fact that there's someone up there looking after them, because it's a very lonely world otherwise, because you realise that your time is finite, and, you know, death brings importance and value to time. And that's a real issue for some people. It's a massive issue for me. And it's only now that I realise how important my time is on Earth that I'm at peace with that fact, and that I'm trying to make the most of my life in a peaceful way. And, you know, I think I have 12 or 15 projects that we counted up the other day. Some of them the size of Play the Game and Hurt, some of them bigger. It's a lot of time devoted to different projects. I like to be busy. I find that my mind feels clear when it's busy for some reason. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, full of things. It just feels like I'm focused and I'm targeted on everything. And I just feel at peace. But do you feel at peace? You're online, as I am now, as we said. Do you feel at peace right now? And it's fine if you don't. It's fine if you do. It doesn't matter. Give me an honest answer about whether you feel peaceful. And if you don't, what's something that is making you feel that war? And I like this idea that there's either war or peace in you, because it's a simplistic way. This is far more complicated than that, obviously. But it's a really simplistic analogy for understanding those two driving emotions that kind of predict your future and your conclusions in life. So do you feel at peace? Do you feel at war? If you feel at war, what's made you feel like that? If you feel at peace, share those things with people. Share that kind of loving energy. And I sound like a fucking hippie. I'm not. But there is real truth behind love and peace. And what do you think? If you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video, I'd really appreciate that. And if you want to share this with someone, or share it with the conversation, get in that comment section with me, and I'm going to answer you. Because this is really important to me, and I love the idea that these topics are in our minds and that we can talk about them, and that you can talk about them with me. because that's so important. It's so one-sided otherwise. I'm really glad to be back, and I'm glad we can have these talks. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you, and be good.